Last time, we looked at the scientific warnings behind the looming threats of the Nankai megathrust earthquake and a possible Mount Fuji eruption. Today, we ask if this doomsday scenario really unfolds. How bad could it get? Take a deep breath, and let's dive into a disaster movie. That might not be fiction. The first crack, Nankai Trough megathrust earthquake. It's July 2025. Somewhere in the quiet deep of the Pacific, off Japan's southern coast, a 700-kilometer stretch of seafloor along the Nankai Trough begins to shift. This is the fault line. Seismologists have been shouting about for decades. It's overdue. It's coming. And then, it hits. Magnitude 9.0. A full-scale megathrust earthquake. The ground bucks like a wild beast. Cities look like they've been bombed. Glass, concrete, chaos. The human toll: deaths, injuries, refugees. The numbers are brutal. Estimated deaths: 298,000. Over 215,000 of those from the tsunami alone. In Shizuoka Prefecture alone, 101,000 dead. Miyazaki: 33,000. Ni: 29,000. It's catastrophic. Over 620,000 injured. Tens of thousands missing. And in just 1 week, over 12.3 million people, about 10% of Japan's population, are forced to evacuate. Let that sink in. 1 in 10 people becomes a refugee. Overnight, the sea strikes back. Tsunami incoming. But wait, before anyone can catch their breath, the ocean comes roaring in. A tsunami builds fast. 3 to 5 minutes after the quake, Kochi Prefecture could see waves as high as 34 meters. That's not a typo. 34 meters. Most Pacific coastal regions would be hit by 10 to 20 meter waves. In some places, the tsunami hits within 3 minutes. How big's the flood zone? About 1,151 square kilometers. To put that in perspective, that's twice the size of Seoul underwater. Systems collapse, infrastructure in ruins. This isn't just about falling buildings. It's about a nation's entire infrastructure collapsing like dominoes. Power? Gone for 27 million households. Water? Shut off for 13 million homes. Cell service? Dead. Over half the towers are down. Shinkansen trains stop. Highways snap like chopsticks. Airports and ports, Nagoya, Kobe, Kansai, shut down. Japan, one of the world's most connected nations, is suddenly an island again. Economic shock, the price tag of catastrophe. The damage bill? An estimated $292.3 trillion. That's roughly $2 trillion US, or nearly half of Japan's 2024 GDP. 2.35 million buildings destroyed. Industry halted. Tourism wiped out. And rebuilding? That'll take at least a decade. Sleeping giant stirs, Mount Fuji awakens. And now, part 2. After the 1707 Hawaii earthquake, Mount Fuji erupted 49 days later. Scientists worry history could repeat itself. Mount Fuji currently shows potential for a V5 level eruption. And if that happens, the Tokyo metro area could be blanketed in volcanic ash. Wait, what's VE? Glad you asked. VE stands for Volcanic Explosivity Index. Think of it as the Richter scale for volcanoes. It runs from 0 to 8. And each jump means 10 times more force and dash. VE 0? Like gentle lava flows in Hawaii. VE 3? Enough to evacuate towns. VE 4? Planes grounded. VE 5? Nationwide shutdown. And VE 6 or 7? That's global disaster territory. In 1815, Indonesia's Mount Tambora erupted with a VE of 7. It triggered the year without a summer and changed the world's climate. Fuji's last eruption? Hawaii, 1707. It was a VE 5. Tokyo, then called Edo, was covered in ash. Crops died. Water turned foul. Cities turned to sludge. Ashes fall when the sky turns gray. If it happens again, Tokyo, Saitama, Kanagawa, Chiba, they could be buried under 5 to 30 centimeters of ash. It's not soft snow. It's sharp, glassy dust that destroys electronics and scratches your lungs. Roads? Paralyzed. Trains? Stopped. Power, water, communication? all toast. Hospitals and servers could go offline. Tokyo, the beating heart of Japan, flatlined. Global isolation, industry and finance grind to a halt. Narita and Haneda airports shut down. Hundreds of flights cancelled daily. Semiconductor plants out of service. Delicate filters clogged. Damage worth billions. Tokyo Stock Exchange possibly out of commission. The ripple effects. Global disaster gets personal health and survival. Volcanic ash could cause respiratory illness in up to 300,000 people. And remember, the hospitals are already overwhelmed from the quake. On top of that, another 1 to 2 million refugees could flee from areas around Mount Fuji. The big picture total impact of a twin disaster. So what happens if both disasters strike? Total economic loss between 312 and 342 trillion. That's up to $2.3 trillion US. Refugees? Over 15 million. Recovery time? 5 to 10 years minimum. We're talking about a nation frozen in time. Systems halted. Daily life suspended. But what about Korea? Are Koreans safe? Southern Korea, Busan, Jeju, might feel tremors around magnitude 3 to 4. Direct tsunami risk? Low, but not impossible. Ash clouds could drift in, depending on wind and jet streams. Air traffic delays, shipping interruptions. And if Japan's supply chain for semiconductors, electronics, and precision parts stalls, Korean industries could take a hit. 1 to 5 trillion won in damages. Final thoughts: this isn't a fantasy, it's a forecast. You can't predict earthquakes, but you can predict the consequences. Japan's government says there's an 80% chance the Nankai earthquake will strike within the next 30 years. Mount Fuji? Still classified as active, and it hasn't erupted in over 300 years. So is this just a wild scenario, or is it a scientifically grounded preview of what could come? You decide. What can we do? The goal isn't fear, it's preparation. Know your evacuation routes. Pack that emergency kit. Make sure your loved ones know the plan. We can't stop nature, but we can reduce the damage. Disaster is coming. The question is, will we be ready?